We are back again. 7 Days of Wisdom, episode 18. This will probably be my most vulnerable episode to date. For those of you who know, and for those of you who may not have heard the news, one of my older sisters passed away this past weekend, last weekend. And looking back on it, last Sunday when I did episode 17, I had no idea that would have even been an incident that could have taken place at this part of my life. So this episode 18, is dedicated to my older sister, Renetta Salima Harris, who was a very, very important person in my life. We all looked up to her. She was an artist, a creative, from a very young age. And I thought to myself earlier this week when I found the news out, which was on Monday, we found out of her passing. Monday, February 29th, actually. I don't even have to look at the calendar, I already know. It's Monday, February 29th. We found out of her passing. She lived in Brooklyn. We went to Brooklyn. We were all heartbroken. I remember meeting up with my sister, driving over to Brooklyn. And it was just very shocking. It was a very surreal moment just to think, that my sister's birthday is literally coming up this Saturday, March 12th. And she happened to die a few weeks before her birthday. And her funeral will be on the same day as her birthday, Saturday, March 12th. And it made me just think about life and existence and the impact that we have on one another. And I thought to myself, what's really important, what should I be doing? And I remember thinking of making a commitment to do these videos, these 7 Days of Wisdom videos, just sharing my insight and things that I learned through others with a community of people who are interested in growth and tapping into their potential and just being the greatest version of themselves and fulfilling their greatest human potential, as Oprah would always say. And I thought, man, it's been a tough week. My sister passed away. How am I gonna do these videos? Like, should I keep writing? Should I keep posting content? And I thought, I have to. It's my medium of expression. It's how I make an impact on the world. For me, not to continue doing what I'm doing would be of disservice to myself, be of disservice to the world, be of disservice to my sister. My sister would always tell me, you have to do what's most important to you. I remember when we had Thanksgiving together, she asked me if I was still drawing. I used to draw a lot when I was younger. And she asked me, hey, are you still drawing? I'm like, nah, I'll probably get back into it. She's like, yeah, it's important that, we we make the time to do what we enjoy, whether we still enjoy it, whether we enjoyed it as kids. It's important that we make that time, and she would always make that time to do what she loves and enjoys. She worked in the fashion industry. I spoke about her a lot. I used to be very proud to tell people that my sister worked in fashion, and she's doing what she loves to do, and she's a graduate from RISD, Rhode Island School of Design, which is one of the top design schools in the country. Like, these are all things I'm super proud of my sister in regards to her accomplishments. And even with my other sisters, I have a sister now, Rona, who is about to fulfill her requirements for a PhD at Columbia. Like, that's huge. Us growing up from Staten Island, New York, in projects, 61 Jersey Street, moving to New Jersey. My parents wanted to give us a platform to enable us with better opportunities in regards to education. Even my mother and father moving from the projects when we lived on Jersey Street up the block to Harvard Avenue was a big deal. Purchasing their first house. And then from there, moving to Jersey, moving to Piscataway, allowing us the opportunity to pursue a better education. It's all a big deal, so I thought of all of this and what my role in this is, whether what I'm doing now is right, whether what I'm doing now, can be different, or whether maybe I should be doing something else. And I said, what I'm doing is exactly what I should be doing. Sharing stories, inspiring people, motivating people to do what they love to do. In the meantime, I'm doing what I love to do. Setting people up for success, enables me to also build myself and set myself up for success. So it's a win-win. I've always wanted a win-win. And when I sat down at lunch today with my parents, my mother and father, we were in Brooklyn. We were at this spot I checked out called Healthy Nibbles on Flatbush Avenue. I actually came across that spot from some content I posted yesterday on my website in regards to lifting the fork and eating healthy and providing healthy options and healthy restaurants to people who may not be aware of what's in their community, especially communities of color in urban cities. So I went to Healthy Nibbles in Brooklyn, and we spoke about a lot of things. The reason why we were in Brooklyn is because we were cleaning out my sister's apartment. So we spoke about life, we spoke about death. I was born in a very, very spiritual upbringing. We weren't a religious family because we wanted to understand and have respect for all religions. We would go to a mosque, we would go to a church, go to a synagogue, just to absorb different religious cultures. That's how we were as a family. But we've always been more spiritually grounded in regards to the universal flow of energy and worship. So that's just how we've been. And as I was talking to my mother, she said that right now we are learning how to embrace mortality. So I thought to myself, man, mortality. We'll learn how to embrace mortality. The fact that there is no life without death. There is no death without life. It works hand in hand. And I'm like, that's it. Embracing mortality. That's what this is about. You know? That's what this episode is about. Dedicating it to my sister and sharing my current real life experience situation of what it is for me to cope with facing mortality. So a lot of people ask me, am I okay? How are you feeling? With the death of a loved one, a close loved one, a sister, older sister, I'm sure people are questioning whether or not, you know, I'm emotionally stable or balanced. And people who really know me know that I've always been a very centered person. So I think me looking at it as well is because people may see me, although I'm very emotionally centered, people also see me as emotionally undetectable. There are times where it's like, I really don't know how to gauge where he's at right now. It's a little tricky. So in situations like this, with the death of a family member, I think it really may concern some people as to where I am at emotionally, whether I'm sad, happy, angry, frustrated. And what I can say is, when I first found out the news, yes, I was sad. One of the first people I broke the news to was my good friend, one of my best friends, Thomas. And I couldn't even speak on the phone. I was crying. I couldn't even speak on the phone. Like I just broke down. But as I continue making calls, and as I continue to come to grips, but I don't even want to say come to grips, but as I continue to understand the context of the situation and what happened, I began to really know that everything will be okay. Things will be alright. From a true essence of things to be alright. Not saying things are going to be alright just to say things are going to be alright. Because sometimes that's not the case. You know? And if that wasn't the case, I would say, no, it's not alright. And that's another thing I learned from my sisters, is to just speak up for myself and say what's on my mind. You know, it's important to be tactful about it. I'm always diplomatic and tasteful about how I deliver things, and mindful and thoughtful about how I deliver it. However, my sister was always straight to the point. Let people know what you want, Aquaus. Like, speak up. I was always a reserved one, always the quiet one in the family. And she would always say, like, you have to speak up. You know, don't be afraid to speak up. So, I mean, that in itself is probably one of the reasons why I decided to do this series in the first place. As a way of expression and speaking and putting my thoughts out there in the world and sharing my message with the world. So as I went through the week, early in the week, I did have moments of crying. First night, I couldn't sleep, of course. But it goes back to the family structure, my mother, my father, spirituality, and the impact that has on my outlook on life, existence, death, and ultimately my ability to be selfless. Because when you think about death and losing loved ones and our coping with it, our ability to not want to let people go out of our life, ultimately that's a way of being selfish. No, don't leave me. You know, you can't leave us. It's not time to go. When it's time to go, it's time to go. Unbeknownst to us, to many, there is a reason for everything. Many times we may not know the reason right there. Sometimes the reasons unfold as life continues. I'm just thankful that I am at a point in my life at 29 years old where I have been equipped with the knowledge and understanding and acumen and emotional fortitude to get through a situation like this, and more importantly, be able to share my message and my feelings with other people who may be going through similar situations. And knowing a lot of what I know now in regards to the death of my sister, I am more at peace. And why would I say I'm at peace? Is because I was aware that my sister had some health problems that a lot of people suffer from. High cholesterol, high blood pressure. She would get easily ticked off at things I may consider minor. And the cause of her death was congestive heart failure. So obviously there is a connection, as sad as it may be. There is a connection, and earlier today I was also told, which I didn't know, that she had a enlarged heart. I had no idea. I'm not even sure if she knew, but that's what the autopsy revealed. As well as a tumor. So these are all things that I was not privy to. And I'm not really sure that she may have been privy to. But thinking in regards to suffering on the planet, alive, living a painful life, in contrast to being taken at a timely moment that no human being can ever be in a position to determine, I am at peace with that. You know, I wouldn't want to see my sister suffer through pain, the pain that she may have had to suffer through. But at the same time, I damn sure didn't want to see it pass away. And that's out of my hands. But what I do have control over, and what we do have control over, is the fact that we choose how to respond, right? So I've always told myself, regardless of any circumstance, incident, however tragic it may be, I always have to put myself in a position where, all right, Aquarius, what do you have control over? What choices are you making? What choices can you make? I would have never thought of, I can never hypothetically put myself in this position I am today. However, being that I am in this position and I am experiencing this, I can literally say that I am making the choice that I am making in regards to letting go, being at peace. This is something I have no control over. As difficult as it may be, trust me, I'm the one experiencing it. But I still have no control over it. So for us going through life, stressing about things we have no control over, most likely it doesn't even compare to this. Not to compare apples, oranges, bananas, whatever fruits you want to compare. But let's really start stepping back and analyzing what's of importance to us, our lives, the people around us. Let's look at how we treat people. Let's look at how we engage with people. We will have hardships and we will have setbacks. We will have arguments. But how important is it really? How important is it? Let's start thinking about it. Let's start being more mindful about what's going on. Conflicts in the world. We all know we don't live forever. And back to the topic of embracing mortality. Death will happen. There's no way around that. That is the risk that comes at living life. Death will happen. We choose the way that we live life. We don't choose how we're born, whether we're male or female, our color, our race, but we do choose how to live our lives. So let's focus on choices. Let's focus on our decisions. Let's focus on how we can make things better in this world. I'm doing my best every day to do that. I just want to share that message. I know it's pretty long, but I felt it's very important to do this video this week while I'm going through this experience. A lot of people, I'm sure, probably wouldn't have been able to do this video without being a bit sentimental, tearing up a little bit. I'm a little surprised at myself, but once again, this is all a learning experience. Regardless of the hardship, we choose how we learn. And the choice is ours. So, ending this off, I really don't know what much to say after what I mentioned, but I just wanted to make sure to just dedicate this to my older sister, Renetta Salima Harris, whom I love and still love, continue to love, will continue to love day in and day out, for your knowledge, your insight, your wisdom, your guidance, your support. And may you continue to shine down on us and guide us in the right direction. And may your legacy and work done on this planet continue to live through us, your siblings, myself, Elisha, Medina, Rona. We're looking up at you, smiling. And we hope let me not say hope, we'll be making you proud. We love you. That's it. 7 Days of Wisdom, episode 18.